I am going to give you two options. You can come to Wakanda, conscious or unconscious.
You need to be conscious of the way that you look. Walking around here with that ash on your head.
Oh, it's funny.
No, it's not.
I told you.
You look good.
Going on to the next.
But oh, sorry, go ahead, Ken.
Oh no, I was gonna pause. It looks like Dixon had some input, but he was mulling it over. No Black Panther Council comments.
Oh no! Just in terms of politics, I'm thinking that's something that I don't think that they wanted to address in one movie. The death of the sovereign, because that's the sovereignty. Because they have, I think that's already in the not Hudlin, but the writer that came on later on,
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Ta-Nehisi Coates. I think one of the storylines was them trying to get rid of the king, and
the hierarchy.
I don't think they wanted to go into that storyline yet.
And I mean, it's also we did also pass a moment in this movie. We saw the I'm sorry, what's the name of the angels? The suits. Because we saw, since you're referencing Ta-Nehisi Coates, there's a suit of armor that's brought in during his run that we do get a chance to see in the movie as well. That's later brought back. Something angel. My brain is now not giving me the answers, and I apologize to our listeners. We're not shouting at it. Midnight Angels,
Twilight Angels.
Wait. Are we talking about the suit that Okoye gets?
Yeah, the blue.
Yeah. Midnight Angels.
Okay, thank you.
Midnight Angels. That was not Twilight. Good.
It was that was another nitpick. I didn't think that the design or the name were great, or that Okoye should have gotten the suit.
The suits. Look, we're gonna have to talk about Ironheart suit as well. Like,
we're gonna have to talk about all the suits, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, the suits in general.
You can yell at me then. Okay.
Put a little pin in that right there. Just like, all right, that's it for later.
Wait a second. What's that behind your ear? Is that a... Yes, it is. It's a pin. Let's do this. Let's take the pin and put it in this conversation. Boop.
Yeah. So we're about to get to introduce to at least one of the suits on this chase. You know, they get to the campus, they try and talk Riri into like joining them. Yeah. She has her reservations.
We didn't say. It turns out it's a high school girl that just created this as like part of her, or college girl, excuse me, a college age girl who created this as part of her thesis. That just created like, this is how you track vibranium. So yes.
Just being pedantic, she is 15, so she is she's high school aged, but she's in college.
She's in fair enough.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No.
Is she 15 in the MCU or is she 15 in
She's 15
Marvel?
In the comics, she's 19 in the movie.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
sorry. I'm in the comics, she's 15, so I misconnected.
But in the MCU, I believe this is her freshman year in college or something like that.
Okay.
I thought she was pulling like
she
a Sheldon.
Says when she was in the room that she was 19.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, this is actually her sophomore, junior.
So this is like she just created it on a whim. So she's our new super genius. And at that point, Everett Ross lets them know who actually created the vibranium tracking system. And
he created it on a bet from a teacher.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Okoye and Shuri go to not so much confront, but kind of to pick up Riri Williams because they know that she is in danger.
Yes. They get to Riri's lab in order to grab some stuff because she's about to go to Wakanda. They are intercepted by There we go.
I mean,
and
do they? I thought they just said that they're the police. I didn't. Did they say that they're CIA?
No. Well, I mean, the black SUVs kind of give it away.
Yeah, because the thing that I'm kind of like that when I watched it, I'm like, what jurisdiction on what reason? Like, oh, we're here to pick up the black girl. Like, that's the whole story. That was it. Like,
the whole point is they don't need jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is made up.
Yeah, fair enough.
They have guns and badges. They'll do what they want to do.
I mean, that's a wild statement from Jason's Blue Lives Matter podcast. I don't know why.
I think to your credit, Ken, I think the CIA, whoever they are assisted by the local police as well. Because I believe the cop that says she has her own, or the person who says she has her own suit is actual like uniformed law enforcement person. But there are other agents.
I believe she says she got her own Iron Man suit.
Yeah, that guy, that gentleman is uniformed police officer. Cool action sequence ensues. We get a chase sequence and we get to the bridge.
Also, I just want to point out, every cop in every Marvel movie always sounds like they're New York Street Patrol.
Well, I mean, it worked.
Everyone, doesn't matter where they are, man.
Just keep running that one back.
Milwaukee, get over it.
He's a transfer, okay? He did some bad stuff in New York, and of course, they didn't fire him. They just transferred him to Milwaukee.
Gotta love the unions.
That tracks.
And Riri suits up for the first time in her trash can Iron Man suit.
Wow. It's a very
is it wrong?
Yeah. Whoa. Did we not like the first Ironheart suit?
The Ironheart Mark 1. That's what that is. That's just the Mark 1.
We did not like the first. And they did say that she got some of her parts from the trash can. Because I think Shuri said it looks like some of these parts were high technology, and some of these parts looked like they were rummaged from. I can't remember what she said.
It can both be made of trash and likable. I enjoyed the fact that she had made this suit from just what was laying around.
He made it in a lab in a cave with. Do I love the Mark 1 Ironheart suit? No. Am I fine with it? Yes, because the idea is like that she's doing this all on her own budget out of whatever part she has. Peter Parker, the first time we were introduced to him, he's carrying in a piece of junk. Yes, it's the Peter Parker podcast, folks. But he's bringing in trash under his shoulder because it's like, yeah, you work with what you've got. Like I can respect that as an engineer. Tired Giant's like, no, I'm done with this.
Yeah. I can appreciate what she's done. It doesn't mean I have to lie to myself and say that it looks good.
I that wasn't my statement. I said I don't mind it. I'm not over here saying death to the Ironheart armor.
I called it a trash can suit. That's what it looked like.
I'm shocked and appalled by all of you right now. Because look, it doesn't matter that like if the suit is aesthetically pleasing or not, right? The fact that she made it work, she built it out of trash.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, we get it. She's a genius. But the suit still looks like trash. You can't. They aren't mutually exclusive.
Wow. Just the elitism of this armored gaggle of
Do you remember Iron Man? Do you remember what Iron Man, what Tony Stark's first suit looked like when he made it in the cave?
Yeah, the Mark 1. Yes, I'm there with you. Yes,
his suit looked more cohesive than hers.
They gave him supplies.
They gave him trash metal from the mountains.
No, they gave him pieces of
yeah.
They gave him Stark Tech. They gave him the missiles and
they didn't give him Stark Tech. They gave him.
Yes, they did. It's the missile says Stark on it. Yes, they gave him. But no, go back. Some of the pieces and the rockets that he used.
Okay, did they give him a suit, or did he tear apart his own missiles to make a suit?
Those are high-grade missiles. Those cost millions of dollars. They come with a martini machine.
What sort of trash panda like bullshit are you trying to like? Oh, I'm just gonna find all these missiles in the trash.
No, I'm saying he took
here's the question: why
he took apart metal, and no, I'm saying he took apart metal and made a suit out of it. She has access to metal. She obviously does. It doesn't look good. I'm not saying it isn't an engineering marvel. It doesn't look good.
No, it's an engineering marvel.
Yeah,
that shit literally got off the ground. Yeah. Oh, I thought you said it wasn't. Like, wait a minute.
No, I'm saying it is. I'm acknowledging that it is. I'm saying it also doesn't look good.
Kareem, sometimes it's about what's inside. Okay, sometimes the armor is the friends we made along the way. That's all I'm saying.
I just bet you see other armors on the street and you're like, oh, you should smile more. You freaking just the worst, Kareem. Just the worst.
Jason, why do you have him on the show? I don't understand.
I'm the Andrew Tate of this podcast. Thank you.
You beat me to it, you son of a bitch.
Oh, don't mention that name. Oh,
no.
The Romanian police are right behind you.
Oh, in that case, Devin Grayson's right behind them. So go on, carry on. I was just...
Fine. Her beautiful suit that she dons for the first time on this chase that we get. That's what she's in, and we get the what do we call them? Talocans.
Talokan.
Showing up for the first time with their water bombs.
Yeah, big
Canadians.
chase scene, Riri, and we're gonna get away! Yay, we're gonna do it! All right, and then
She fights a drone.
Yes, and also she has the
cool.
same similar stuff to Iron Man. She kind of has the elevation issues, and it's nice that they mirror that.
I love that as she's doing. I think what I thought was most impressive in that scene was that as she's trying to outrun the drone, she's also doing calculations on how to use it as a weapon at the same time. And I didn't realize that until after she shoots it and uses it as an explosion to cause a diversion. That's what she was counting to, and I was like, oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
And that's how she's better than Tony Stark. She's not just like gonna fall down to her death.
I didn't say she wasn't.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that she's better than
he makes better looking suits.
I'm taking shots at the white aristocracy. So,
oh, Pat, turn your camera off.
No, I want to hear it. Go ahead, asshole. Go ahead, because the Tony Stark Foundation is about to buy her out.
She's using stolen.
Hold on.
Yeah,
we know what Pepper's gonna do, and that's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, she's gonna try and
Fucking
remember if
Pepper.
she was in the movie or not. Was I in this?
I was gonna say Pepper could have solved all of this Wakanda stuff early on.
Pepper Potts basically is the Mariah Carey. I don't know them. Like
Basically,
just every
yes.
time.
So we get this is where we get to, I think, was it Yukin or Dixon that was saying that the Talokan were shooting first and asking questions later situation.
Yes.
Was that Yukin or Dixon?
No, it's Dixon.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're to your point where again they are witnessing the car chase scene, and they see an opportunity to get rid of Riri. And
Right.
this is where the Wakandans jump in and defend her, and they become enemies at that point.
Absolutely. But then
So-
you get a good fight scene from Okoye and Atuma, but then we
Mhm.
forget that Atuma in the comics is like as strong as Asgardian, a base level Asgardian. So
Mm.
she was not going to fare well, considering that even though she had considerable skills,
Mhm.
just brute force was going to win that battle.
It's worth noting brute force also paired with vibranium level equipment too. So it's like it's not
Yes.
just like he's strong, but also all of his equipment and weaponry is all also essentially on par with her vibranium tech. Like it's an interesting kind of corollary there. So it's like he has like one of her legs up is then also kind of taken out from underneath her. Like, oh no, at least I have this vibranium stuff. Oh no, even that's not, it's still not on par with them. So
Yeah. But I mean, she was masterful enough to get rid of his two sidekicks for a minute.
oh yeah. I mean, well, but Atuma's essentially, I mean, he's in the comics, he's Namor's counterpart. Like he's the ocean master to Namor's Aquaman. They have similar kind of corollaries there. So Atuma's pretty high level in terms of strength. And then of course you have I was going to say Namora, but I guess it's Namora here. But no, she has another name too, I think. But in terms of comics, she's Namora. But she's the cousin of Namor, and she's got a fair amount of strength herself, and she and also very intelligent. And apparently, the actress can hold her breath for 6.5 minutes underwater.
She totally reminded me of the what was the female's name from the Man of Steel, who did all that crazy training as well?
Fiora,
the actress. Yes.
Oh, the actress. I don't know
the actress did it. She did a bunch of crazy training in order to embody the role of Fiora, and that's what she reminded me of when I first saw her on screen.
Yeah, it's Fiora. Sorry, that's the character's name.
Anste Trau.
Yes.
I don't think I said that right, but that's the name.
Not at all. But
she's the Ursa.
We'll put her up. Yeah. All right. So then, I believe this is where they take Shuri, right? Where she goes with them. They take her.
This is they're before they essentially try and before they just finish off, because Shuri knows that she's no match for her alone with just what's going on, because the Ironheart suit's busted up. Okoye's out of the equation, so she's like, I call parlay, take me to Namor. And she's like, get me say, and like, so she kind of puts it into a diplomatic position where it's like, no, let Namor decide this, like he's gonna be the one, so she's gonna use him as her kind of get out of jail free right now. She's like, no,
I don't. All she had to say was diplomatic immunity, and I would have been a whole heart. That's all I needed.
Diplomatic
all
immunity.
I needed.
Diplomatic community.
That would have been awesome. And I think we continue this, right? There's no cut back to anything. We go straight to underwater with them.
There's when do we get like the after scene report with Everett Ross and then his ex-wife? Spoilers.
I think we get that after. Maybe. Well, it's nighttime when they show up, right? Or is it daytime?
Oh, actually, I think what happened.
Daytime.
Actually,
So
isn't it that Okoye wakes up and then she has to report back to Queen Ramonda?
Yeah. So
well, I think she wakes up. She wakes up and sees them leaving. Doesn't she? Does she jump into the water after them and couldn't keep up?
I think she's already thrown into the water. Wasn't she thrown into the water by?
Yeah,
she survives.
She was thrown in the water.
Yeah.
All that matters.
Okay.
She
Like a
survives.
blast.
And
But
then
I don't think we get the report until after Riri and what's her name have their discussion, or at least Shuri has a discussion with Namor, and then we get to her. We cut back to the report where she gives that amazing award-winning speech about losing everything and having trusted her. And I think I mentioned this to Jason, who hasn't spoken in a while. We'll give him a second. That I thought it was so cutting that she had forgiven Okoye for her betrayal, but hadn't forgotten and brought it up as she fires her. And I was like, ooh, that cuts where it's like, hey,
but Okoye,
I didn't forget, bitch, that you betrayed me and you tried to kill my family.
This scene ruins other Marvel films for me.
Yeah.
Because to know that we can get to that point, like of so much emotion and so much righteousness in a Marvel film, because when we say Marvel film, right, when we say MCU film, there's still that stigma, right? People might be buying them off the shelves, right? We might be showing up every time, but there is still a little bit of the stigma itself. You're enjoying it, but you're like, ha ha ha, like I could live without this, whatever, right?
What do you mean? Love and Thunder is a masterpiece. I
enjoyed Love and Thunder, even though it was a little bit of a mess. But okay,
it was.
But my point,
sorry.
though, is that we have gotten to this point of acting to, like, we should be expecting this at all times, right? And the next thing that, what was the next thing that came out after this? The Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Which I'm like, okay,
it's for TV.
They serve different purposes.
We'll have to see what Ant-Man can do.
Yes. Yeah, we do have to see what Ant-Man can do. And I just hate giving with that ammo, Kareem. I just really
maybe
hate
Michelle Pfeiffer can get there. Maybe.
I think Paul Rudd's going to get there for us.
Oh yeah, and I think you can get there in different ways, right? You don't have to have You don't have to have this piercing performance, right? Like you just have to do what you do best, right? If Paul Rudd makes this both heartfelt and funny, I'm in.
Yeah.
Right.
And doesn't it feel like?
Jason?
Sorry, go ahead, Dixon.
Well, I was going to say, to piggyback on what you're saying, I do believe you're right that this was a masterpiece because it was a master class in the exploration of grief. And we saw the exploration of grief through several lenses. We saw people who made it to acceptance. We saw people who were still in denial. We saw people who were just angry. He's just like, oh, look, I'm angry. And I just want to burn the world now because Killmonger's a beautiful person and he's a genius. And I like someone focusing my anger where it needs to be. And we have the people who are like, still stuck in depression. They're like, well, I'm just going to stay in my hut and I'm not going to do anything because, both my kings are now dead and I don't see any positive nature of life. And I'm like, dude, it was amazing. And on that note, to me.
Well, and I go ahead, Ken. I think Ken was going to say something.
I was going to say, you asked what was after this. I believe it was She-Hulk was the next Marvel property, or Werewolf by Night.
I think it was She-Hulk, and then Werewolf by Night was after.
Yeah.
Those were both before.
Okay.
I don't.
Were they?
Wakanda Forever came out in November.
Okay.
She-Hulk. Oh yeah, you're right.
She-Hulk started in October and rolled through.
I just didn't want to get crucified for my She-Hulk opinions because I absolutely loved it, and apparently I'm wrong.
No.
I loved it too. I'm right there with you.
The three of us are.
I will defend you on that.
That is all.
Thank you, Dixon. Thank you for giving me my free pass on this one.
I will say that to your point, like we are always expecting this. I think that because of that is why we have such diminishing returns on some things, because not everything can be Black Panther and Black Panther 2. Like, I get that we want to try and push for the best, but sometimes you're going to get in a Doctor Strange, and which is fine. Like, I think that we need to have to jump off a point Jason made way back in the day is like, movies don't need to be yes or no. They don't need to be only good or bad. It's not binary. You can have a spectrum of enjoying movies. The idea of Rotten Tomatoes saying like, oh, is it fresh or is it rotten? Like, there are varying degrees for a bunch of movies. Not everything is going to be Black Panther 2, and I don't think it's fair to expect that from everything. So I think that we should expect more and hold them to certain standards, but I also don't think that they're going to fail a lot. They're going to have a Willow here and there. So
I would also say shots fired at Willow. I would also say
the series,
crazy
not the movie.
drive-by.
Okay, fair enough.
Willow.
Get down. Part of this is just because of the diversification of Marvel films, because it's not just a comic book movie anymore. It is a mystery. It is a comedy. It is a sci-fi film. And that diversification means that it's not going to serve the truly wider audience every time. And so, like, something like She-Hulk isn't gonna may not have the same audience as something as Black Panther, even though you would expect it because they're both comic book properties. They're so different in tone and in the way they're approaching the source material and the story they're trying to tell, that they're not always going to match one-to-one. I think that's where you see a lot of anger in general from the comic book community. Like, oh, I read comic books, I should like all of this. Well, it's grown beyond that, because the only way to make it to continue to be a success and keep the machine moving is to diversify what those movies are.
And I think that the people who aren't who have those take umbrage with like She-Hulk have problems with diversity in general. So that's kind of that issue, is that they're like, no, I want.
I disagree with you there,
Dixon.
I think that the was it the Illuminati? What they called them in the movie, or Intelligentsia? Yes, the Intelligentsia tend to have they have a view of how things should be confined and locked into a certain point of view. And it's like, there can be many points of view. We can have any number of ideas, and that's where because people just think it's flights and tights, like that's all that superheroes movies are. It's like, no, superhero movies are any number of colors you want to paint with, and that's where that kind of it hits up against. And we got here how I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Well, I appreciate that thought, Ken.
Jedi are evil.
But
Go ahead, Dixon.
How something's marketed, you will agree with me here. And everyone will agree with me here. If it's marketed in a certain way and your expectation is that, and it does not come across that way, it immediately becomes a disappointment. I can't bring up examples, but I know you all can, where you thought something was going to be one way and it turned out to be the exact opposite. My first thought is the He-Man cartoon, where I thought it was going to be one way and it turned out to be another way. But there's always the case where if you feel like it's a bait and switch, and if you feel like it's a bait and switch, you're going to feel some type of way about it.
Now, hold on. Go ahead, Ken.
I think that you can have expectations and then have them shattered and then have it also taken in a good way. Like, oh, I didn't see that coming at all. And I really enjoyed that. I thought this was going to be a movie about this, but it's a movie about this. And I still love the way they told the story. I can be like, I hate sports top to bottom, but I still enjoy The Replacements and Ted Lasso. And like, cause they're not like I'm going into something with different expectations than I maybe started with. And I can adjust and adapt my point of view as the story unfolds. So,
and you can also see it the other way, where it was not tailored. Oh, the trailer made you think it was going to be one way, and you went to it and saw it something else, and now you're disappointed. So you can see both sides. Both sides are valid. It's in this case, people aren't seeing the validity of, I saw the trailers and said, I expected this. And then when I didn't get it, I was disappointed.
Yeah, no, I mean, Dixon has a valid point. There are times when a trailer for a show or for a movie is cut and you get to the movie itself and you're like, there was a miscommunication between the marketing team and the people who cut the trailer.
There was just just recently in the news, there was the lawsuit. So there was a film that was coming out with Ana de Armas, and
Yes.
All of her scenes were actually cut, but they used her in all the trailers. And so fans actually sued because they're like, oh, I was here to see Ana de Armas.
Right.
She
That makes
was
sense.
nowhere in the film. Right. So yeah, there was just a court case on this.
So your point is, to your point, Dixon, it is valid to have expectations based on the trailer. I guess to what Ken's saying though, like when you, I guess, go back and rewatch the trailer, does it match what you saw in the show at that point? And if it doesn't, then, continue with criticism for it. Or where you just, saw a trailer, made your expectations and went with it, regardless of what else came out after that. Like if there, there's always like that first trailer. I think Jason, holds himself to one trailer and that's about it. But then, there are 2 to 3 other trailers before a show or a movie comes out that explain a little bit more or put it in more. No, I'm saying it to your credit. Like
I know.
You try not to.
I just always feel like you give me so much crap for only watching one trailer.
Well, just because we want to talk about so much, and you're like, I saw the one trailer that only had
Ana de Armas in it.
I don't want to watch it.
And he signed off at Ana de
Every
Armas.
movie you think
which,
has
by the
Ana
way,
de Armas in it.
I'm going to back you on that. Like here's my, Ana de Armas, I'm on board. And then you're like, no, Anna. And I'm like, why am I here? This is a waste of my time.
Cut it.
I'm walking out.
But I think you both have points. You both Kins have valid points. I can say.
But don't both sides just Trump. This isn't. We don't have good people on both sides. This is ridiculous. How dare you?
This is also a battle. It's also intent. I think is important here because the Ana de Armas case is like they are intentionally lying to get you into the theater. Basically, she's here. Totally stupid. As opposed to just trying to subvert expectations. Like you're coming in with this. But the whole point is it hits you with a left hook. It's not meant to lie to you in that way. It's meant to be a twist. Like the He-Man one, I think is a good example.
Where do you draw the line? Because even at the final episode of She-Hulk, the people who had expectations of the show were made fun of by the show itself.
I don't.
Well, they've been doing that throughout the whole show, though. So if you got to the last episode and you were hit with the surprise left hook, you weren't watching.
You didn't anticipate it
multiple times.
If you watch the show long enough, you can anticipate.
You didn't see the strategy coming. There was a strategy they were setting up, and you were looking at it.
It's a lot like a game of hockey. You see it going one way, you think, I know where it's going. And then wham, out of nowhere, that left winger comes in, and now
it's like, boom, hat trick. We're going home.
Throw the octopus on the court.
So there's that. Back to Black Panther. We
that one. All right.
We had a Space Jam for a second. We're with Shuri now, talking to Namor, and he kind of gives the entire backstory of his presence, how he is both, I guess, genetically modified / mutant. We get that whole story, which is, I had questions. I think Ken answered pretty well for me about him being kind of both, because I was like, well, is he really a mutant if he's like the first of his kind that was altered genetically?
Yeah,
speaking?
winged
But
feet.
yes.
Well, I mean, he's a mutant of both he's like, because his people are like, they are what's the term I'm looking for? They are a different branch than just Homo sapiens. They themselves kind of branch off because they took the root, which is I don't know if we got a name for their root.
You're saying a different genus?
A different genus, maybe. I'm not smart enough to know the terms, but just that's why I said branch, because I don't have
a different thingy.
Not up here.
Thingy.
There you go.
Thingy. Yeah,
different thingy. Yeah.
But that he himself is a different. He's a mutation off of that as well, because he has the winged feet and
the strength. And
do they have pointy ears? I didn't know if they. I know he does.
He did.
Okay,
he
but
does. I don't think all of them do.
I don't know if the Tolakan do. And also, whether he's in water or out, he also doesn't change to blue. Like, he doesn't have that color change. Yeah. So he's a mutant, even being from another genus or subgenus. He is also a mutant in that aspect as well.
Right. So he tells that entire story about the what do you call them?
Basically, the story is that
the conquistadores.
There we go.
Before we got to that, like his tribe. Well, because doesn't it first that he has, well, I guess it is the conquistadors, like they have a vision that the tribe is going to be killed. And so they all are to drink basically what amounts to the heart-shaped herb, because vibranium had landed in the water over there. So their version of the heart-shaped herb, Namor's mother at the time is pregnant with Namor. And so when she drinks the herb, they become water breathers. They
pull a Heaven's Gate real quick.
Yep. They it's weird. I don't know how you get discount Nikes at that time, but they did, man. They got them all.
They all drank that and died and rose back up and went into the water.
Applewhite's all right.
But he basically, and they spend a generation underwater.
But
he goes to bury his mom.
Yeah. Namor is born, his mother gives birth, and it turns out that he's basically nigh near immortal. He ages extremely slowly. So I'm sorry, Kareem, go ahead.
No, you're right. He has super strength. He, can breathe underwater, and has flight, a bunch of other, cool abilities. But he goes,
piercing eyes.
Yes. When his mom passes away, eventually he goes to bury her on land where she came from, and finds what was left of their people, or I guess the descendants, being subjugated, and gets pissed off, gets rid of all of them, and kind of swears off.
I mean, land. I'm gonna say like slavery. It was not just, it was like, it was all in.
Prisoners with jobs. Oh,
yes, those no paying jobs. But he basically swears off land, and kind of has a distaste for humans. Yeah. And so that's where his reasoning comes from wanting to stay hidden, wanting to sacrifice Riri for the sake of keeping his people from ever having to deal with that again. So you see his logic behind I guess the death of one is for the greater good or whatnot.
Yeah.
While Shuri's arguing against that.
Yeah. Black Adam definitely says clearly this is the way it's going to be because I'm okay with death. And then throws a JSA around. Oh, sorry.
And then changes the hierarchy
we'll get
of power
in the Marvel universe. Yeah,
to where he gets dethroned by himself.
There you go.
Yeah, that didn't work out well.
Reverse busted, bitch.
I'm so powerful. I left. I got kicked out. Too powerful.
I think it's important in this scene to know that Namor takes Shuri to Talokan, and she kind of interacts with the people a bit. So she's seeing just like kind of what a beautiful city it is, and kind of how advanced it is, and just kind of gets a little ingrained into it. She doesn't see them just as an enemy now. She sees them as actual people like her people.
Well, travel can just for you if you have an open mind and open heart, and not just like, oh yeah, yell at the server over there. Like, no, I'm going to actually enrich my understanding of life and be respectful to people, which is what should happen from travel.
And this happens minutes before our next scene, where we have the debriefing that we hinted about, the very emotional scene, the firing of Okoye, which I thought again was more telling and more controlled than just imprisoning her, which I felt like Ramonda would have been entitled to do as well.
I thought it was in poor taste that she said you fired. I didn't think that was great, but outside of that,
I thought it was topical. But and then we get her going to what is her name? God, I'm forgetting her name.
Nakia.
Yes, Nakia. and asking her to do espionage.
Nakia, who has retired and is brought back for one more mission.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Hey, we need you to come back.
And she's in, where is she at again? Hades?
Haiti, yeah.
Haiti.
Yeah.
So she's gone off to Haiti since we last saw her in Black Panther 1. But she comes back. She does a masterful job of getting to what is their city called? Yeah.
Yeah.
She
figures out.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say she goes to I believe it was at Mayan ruins. Like she goes to areas where they essentially were first kind of popped up, because I believe she uses some from the language as well. And then because she speaks Spanish very clearly, and then ends up also using the Talocan language to show that she has that knowledge. And then the local woman opens up to her and is like, oh, hey, they get some more information. Yeah.
Yeah, she finds out where they kind of come on the shore. She follows that track, gets down to where they're at. In the attempt to rescue, I think they end up killing
one of the handmaidens, I guess.
One of the handmaids, yeah.
That was a bummer.
And that was unfortunate, but it kind of shows that the miscommunication level.
There's a lot of fast forwarding, and I think Dixon's jumping on that. No, it's okay. You're good.
Go
Dixon had a point.
I think she was more than a handmaiden, because the response he gave, she must have been like a niece or something. Like she must have been a family member. Like, it's just my feeling, and I gotta maybe look at some
either that or he feels like that about
Emergency
everybody.
Awesome, or yes, but I don't know. We'll come back to it later.
Do you think it's Namorita, the clone of Namora? Is that what? No, I'm sorry.
I don't think that's going to happen yet. But I think she had to be more significant.
This is what scares people out of Marvel films. Okay,
they can read all this too. It's all out there.
We have to make this as simple as possible so we don't scare the normies. Okay.
Fair enough.
Well, either way, he cared about this person.
Yeah.
You're better.
It's why it can't be called Atlantis, guys. It's why it can't be called Atlantis. That, and because DC will go on the offensive. They got there first.
Yes. But I mean, it's also his feelings towards it was juxtaposed with what meaningful interaction he just had with her, and what vulnerability he just showed, and what compromise he was really almost about to make as far as keeping Riri alive. Maybe imprisoned.
Yeah. He even gave Shuri a bracelet from his mother. Like, that's to the point where he was sharing a gift from his family heirloom essentially with Shuri as kind of like this bond to connect them, because he's like, no, like we can be connected people, and then someone ends up getting killed, and it's like, no, that's a betrayal on so many levels.
It should be stated, Namor is cool as shit.
He is.
Like, I want that record. Namar's cool as shit.
I was thinking about this, comparing him to I compare him to Black Adam, but Namor fought Nazis, so I'm more on Namor's side. Like he slapped Nazis about, which is the right thing to do. We're very anti-Nazi at the Tangential Giants podcast. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go anti-Nazi. I'm willing to stand on Dixon. Don't do it. Don't do it. Fucking do it.
Don't you fucking Kanye this. You can boot it so quick.
I will mute
fuck
your
out of
ass.
Here. Got anything to say?
I think we got past that dangerous part. We got past that dangerous part.
All right.
Okay.
So we have Namor feeling very betrayed, almost as though being played. Like Shuri kind of had planned this, to kind of soften him up just so that she could escape.
Maybe he played.
That's how
guys.
He obviously did.
You played yourself.
So she gets back to. They get back to Wakanda and start explaining what's about to happen. That he's about to kill everybody and everything. And I think as they're having the meeting, is that when Namor shows up?
Yeah.
It's his first round.
Yeah. Namor. So they get Riri back. Some shit happens with Everett Ross. Nobody gives a fuck.
I mean, it's kind of important though that Everett Ross and what's her name? What is?
It's fine.
Well, it's the Thunderbolt stuff. What is her name?
No, nobody cares.
His ex-wife.
Valentina.
Yeah, Valentina.
Yeah, is that her name?
Look, man.
Wait. Are you speaking about Valentina Allegra de Fontaine?
Yes.
The Contessa.
Side note: the person who died was Princess Finn.
Oh,
So Princess
it was a princess.
Finn.
Okay.
there we go.
So
Thank
this
you.
is what IMDb says. That
Well, they
so
never lie.
I'm assuming she had more of a significant role than just a
Yeah,
handmaid.
she was somehow
Agreed.
close to him. But the important thing is that Neymar comes, shows up to Wakanda, and beats everybody's ass in this room.
Yeah, him and I believe like 6
His
people have a show
sirens.
of strength and get rid of like a third of Wakanda in this
Yeah,
move.
they full on attack. The sirens show up. Everything's
In the
gone to
ensuing
shit.
battle,
Yeah.
uh,
Great
Queen
scene with
Rwanda
M'Baku
is-
when he sees Neymar's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, I'm gonna fuck this guy up, and he goes to attack him, and Neymar just one punches
Flings
his
him.
ass.
Just give M'Baku a vibranium weapon.
Yeah.
Just give it
Oh,
to
yeah.
you can cover it in the wood after whatever you need, right? You have all of this laying around. Why is this dude still fighting with a stick?
Because he
Agreed.
don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
You're right. I am crazy. But you know what else? I don't give a fuck.
I think that's him. because
That's why.
He's up in the mountain tribe. He's not coming down to these goofy, like low-level dwellers. He's like, no,
Yeah.
He
I'm
trains
in the mountains.
at altitude.
There you go. He's like Goku
He's-
in this.
He's Kakarot, all right?
There you go.
Weighted everything.
good. Oh, you don't want to use his government name or some other people?
Wow.
Hey,
You know, I don't
I'll
use
go
it
on
either.
record
It's
right now.
Kakarot.
fuck Kakarot.
Oh.
Or
Wow.
Vegeta was
okay.
right.
I was
Vegeta was right.
Damn right.
I was okay. I have to leave on the show. Man. I'm sorry.
Do it.
I think I just did.
Okay, so I was in a legitimate argument
Yesterday?
today, like literally today, about there was somebody arguing with me online about how Goku could just
Kakarot.
outright murk Superman.
What?
No.
I've heard
No.
this discussion before.
Like, no.
There's like a recent comic where we've I guess solved the issue, and I want to say it's like last week or a week before last, where basically Superman got another power upgrade, and
Does
there's
he
no
when
way
he can't
Goku
die?
touches-
We could have solved
Yeah.
this 10 to 15 years ago. There was a Superman who just straight up died. And he's like, nah, I don't want to do this. And then ripped
Exactly.
reality
Yeah.
in order to get back.
Superboy Prime.
Kakarot dies left and right.
Superboy Prime punched reality so hard it shattered.
And it brought back Jason Todd. Like
Yeah.
that's he's
yeah.
so strong he can resurrect
So-
people by accident. So
All
He doesn't
Superman
need no
has to
damn
do
Dragon
is
Balls.
Pick up
those
the Dragon
Zensu beams for
Balls,
him.
and we're done now.
It's a dumb argument, okay?
Yeah.
Superman claps Kakarot every time.
Yeah.
Well, anyone
Now,
who has
Vegeta
the
whooped
Toon
Superman's
Force
ass because
basically
he's the Saiyan Prince. but-
wins.
What's up?
Anyone who has the Toon Force wins. Basically, it's controlling the Matrix. If you have, Popeye, if you have Felix the Cat, if you have, what is his name? The guy,
Like,
there's a
Are you-
Marvel
Roger
character
Rabbit?
who's like a clown.
are you
Oh,
talking about like
Slicer.
Basically, yes.
okay, so cartoon
Uh,
physics. Okay.
So
What's her
Spider-Ham.
name? Squirrel Girl,
No,
Spider-Ham.
Anyone
Squirrel
that
Girl
can
is
break the
Squirrel Girl is completely factual. That there's no cartoon physics.
She
to her.
has
Force.
canonically beat Doctor Doom. It's-
everyone. Everyone. She beat Thanos. She beat Galactus. She beat everybody.
Thanos with his
course,
little
'cause
Thanos
squirrels-
copter.
Because squirrels can bite through the power cosmic and defeat Galactus, of course.
There it
Without
is.
the Toon Force.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I made a mistake.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thank
Your
you.
role.
But by the way,
Anyway.
thank you for justifying me on the show, by the way.
Oh,
Because
Yeah,
I was
you're
just,
right.
no worries.
I'm just
Yeah.
very mad that this 12-year-old came at me, and like I was like,
you
"Look,
showed him.
man, like, don't quote me the deep magics, okay?"
And just block him when he starts talking about it. Oh, the other ones.
He saw that. I'm sure he was on YouTube and saw that one death match where like whoever
Yeah.
owns, I forget who owns
Superman-
DBZ paid to have Kakarot win.
Yeah.
Superman claps Kakarot every time.
Yeah, every
Uh,
time.
Please keep going. Please keep going.
Does not need to breathe in space and is powered by the sun. That's it.
Yeah.
Kakarot, I'm stuck on the planet. I'll instant transmission my ass to the sun. I'm on fire.
Right? What's the
Pretty
guy?
much.
Boomstick and some or other.
Yeah, from that something.
Death battle.
Death battle.
Death battle. All right, so we are in our first encounter with the Wakandas and Namor going toe to toe. We start to see more of his flight abilities, which is pretty sick. But yeah, they basically thrash, like I said, the shoreline of Wakanda, and in the ensuing battle, we get Queen Ramonda dies trying to save, or dies saving Riri.
Protecting Riri, yeah.
She didn't protect
I
her.
wasn't going to drop.
They're both drowning. She just.
I mean, she doesn't die, so
didn't protect her.
Namor, when he was part of the Invaders, was great. That's when he was fighting Nazis. Namor, when he was part of the Defenders, was good, but MCU Namor flooding a town, killing women and children and old men, bad guy.
I'm sorry.
now
are you
he's just
referring to AVX
Hickman Namor?
Yeah, no. Also AVX Namor,
Yeah,
who had the
he did that.
and also flooded Wakanda because he's a punk B word.
Yeah, at the point where you're killing non-combatants, I'm sorry.
It's Namor. I'm missing
and once again, this is where the dissonant violent episode happens, where you're like, okay, now Namor's the bad guy, right? It just
remember,
it's anytime
it's also no, I was gonna say it's also in retaliation. I'm not justifying it, but I'm saying one act followed another.
Yeah, they killed one person on accident, so he attempts to kill.
He doesn't know that it's on accident.
But still, okay. That regardless, it's still one person for likely most of the city.
Yeah, but he had already made the threat of killing the city before that one person died. Regardless,
that doesn't
all you did
help
was
the
speed it up.
It's
does
not
help the argument.
We're talking about politics here. It's a proportional response. That is not a proportional.
I'm saying one
response.
action followed another.
I mean, one action follows another regardless. That's how life happens. But just saying it's not a proportional response is still a valid argument. Just saying like, well, I kicked the cat attacked a dog. Like it shit happens, but that's not a proportional response.
Yeah, you're really finding yourself defending war crimes here, Kareem. So
I guess I am, but damn it, someone's got to do it.
I mean,
is also the man that introduced me into preemptive counterattack. So,
well, no, that's preemptive counterattack is just a sucker punch. Okay.
Yeah. But if you call it preemptive counterattack,
it sounds like so much better.
Strategery. So are you? Jason,
we call it the annexation of Puerto Rico.
What kind of play you got for this situation?
How about the annexation of Puerto Rico?
No, Little Giants fan. No, okay, fine. Go on,
Jason. Are you saying that that at this point Neymar's past the point of no return?
No, it's just
irredeemable.
So, it's more. I
feel like that's where Dixon's at.
There is an irredeemability now, right? There are good ideas and this is the same issue with Killmonger. This is the same issue with, I mean, I'll go deep, like Ghost, for example, right? Like their good intentions taken to a violent extreme, right?
So your problem is you're not living in the Fast universe where you can kill people and still be part of the family. That's what we need to do. We need to introduce Namor to Dom, and he would redeem him.
Yeah, it'd just be like, well, now you're family.
It's okay. You killed Han. I'll let you in the team. Welcome. We have an open space now. There's actually 2 spaces because you killed his girlfriend too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and also, no one ever actually dies.
There's that. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, because didn't they just announce that Gal Gadot is going to be
coming back? Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Which I am. Yeah. I'm just waiting.
I'm all for, but
I'm just waiting for that Han.
You already have your Jewish woman. What more do you want?
Yeah. Okay, how dare you? All right, just because I have a type.
Is it? I want to come full disclosure. I was talking a lot of shit on Gal Gadot this weekend.
Oh, me too.
In her performance in Death in the Nile. Death on the Nile. Yeah.
I hadn't seen it.
She's really bad in it. Anyway, neither here nor there. I just wanted to get that off my chest before since
we absolved you. So that's fine.
Full disclosure. Is that what you're saying, Pat?
Yeah. Full disclosure.
Oh God, with Army Hamner? Why?
Hamner?
Hammer. Sorry, I don't know why that messed up. I just saw Death in the Nile. I'm like, wow, this movie.
Yeah, that movie wasn't supposed to come out because Army Hammer is a rapist. So they were like,
I thought he was a cannibal.
A cannibal.
Yes.
Okay.
Like cannibalism.
I didn't know he was both.
Like
I thought he was just
cannibalism.
Like cannibal. Okay. So just like a finger, not or a toe, not a whole, not like a thigh.
Nibbles here and there.
Yeah.
Like a wing, not a leg.
Yeah, wing. Okay. Yeah.
More of a gnawing kind of guy.
That also has Letitia Wright. Sorry, carry on. Moving on. That's the Nile.
Letitia Wright.
So Nate, all right.
Yeah.
So Jason, I agree that, and it's a problem that we come across with the movies. I think it's just because it's a movie. You have to make them a bad guy, and the quickest way to do that.
You're right.
Mass
right?
attack.
Yeah, is a dissonant, violent episode, right? You have to make sure that they, and here is where I have a want, but I understand the need, right? Because the need is for a general audience in order to just understand it immediately. Right
now, here's my question because I think. Go ahead. Who was gonna say something? Wait.
It was Pat that he didn't drink. He's like, wait.
No, I was saying I wanted to hear Jason's point.
Oh no,
Jason,
please.
Sorry.
No, keep going.
My question was: he walks upon the shore. What triggers the actual attack? Though is what I'm trying to figure out.
Isn't it the
he sets off water,
the water bombs,
the compressed water bombs?
Yeah.
No, I think doesn't he get shot at first? Like, I don't think he launches bombs immediately.
No,
he and like 5 people walk on the shore and don't do anything.
He attacks.
No, they flood because he needs the water.
Yeah. So it starts off with the ground just being flooded. The kids, like everybody's looking around, seeing water rising, and then it's the compressed water bombs go off.
Yeah, the buildings
randomly in the city.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then the singing starts.
Yes.
Oof.
All right, because I just remember the jet shooting at him and him having that whole flying sequence. But yeah, you guys are right.
It was the walking into the water part was very horror mind control vibes, and it made
it's a Sam Raimi kind of thing.
It made me deeply uncomfortable as a viewer.
Yeah.
Right. Just having their autonomy taken away. I don't know. That was just
and the music in the back, the way they use the siren song, and just kind of that off key minor, the whole thing. 100% agree. It had that horror vibe to it.
After Jessica Jones, I've famously said all mind controllers need to die. As soon as I know that there's a mind controller in a universe that I'm in, if I'm thrown into Marvel or DC or Image or Top
name
Cow
we're
or
talking
whatever,
again.
I
go first, ask questions later.
I'm no longer a hero.
As a person who was Jean Grey, I don't appreciate the context of this conversation.
Mind controllers get clapped first. That's it.
Yes.
Clapping's fine, but he's saying just outright just.
No, that's what it means, Ken. That's what it means.
I thought you were just clap him against the face, like they're gonna catch some hands.
No.
I thought they're hand catching. No, not catching hands.
The hands are deaf.
Well,
do we have to talk about Professor X again?
I mean,
do we have
he's
to
garbage.
have this discussion?
I wasn't called
such garbage.
I wasn't called the Professor X of the podcast. I was called the Jean Grey.
Jean Grey just learned from Professor X.
I'm the sexy mind controller. That's my mind. That's where I'm going.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, will you take a peek into my mind for a second?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, you! It was Dix.
We'll let it go.
I'm here for the eye candy. That's why you guys have
Also,
this half a half pint.
Yeah, take the shirt off. Dixon, I have bad news for you about social media, by the way. If you don't like mind control, it's that's a tough one.
Algorithm instead of a telepath.
Yeah.
Oh, then you got to tell me who wrote that algorithm. I'll be tracking them down tomorrow.
Mark Zuckerberg.
That's your first target.
Done.
Elon
He's
Musk
on my villain list.
Second target.
And Tom.
Rupert Murdoch.
Tom from MySpace.
Oh, poor Tom. Tom gave it up.
They all gotta go.
He had a top 8. He didn't have
a top 2 billion.
For those listening, Dixon is taking notes so that his list is complete.
Those notes are admissible in court now. All right. So my question is: after Ramonda is found drowned, unfortunately, why does Namor leave?
He wants to give Shuri a chance. I mean, plot reasons. Just that's the only answer. That's really the answer. But he wants to give Shuri an opportunity to come to the conclusion that his way is the right way. That's the story. That's the plot armor that she wears, essentially.
Because I'm trying to figure out because he had an opportunity to get. I was trying to figure was he scared off or something because he threw the bomb that got rid of.
He has a connection.
Shuri. I mean what's her name, Riri and Ramonda.
Riri. Yeah, Riri.
So he had an opportunity to take her.
He has
He
a,
did.
I
He just.
I
didn't
think
wanna-
it is. Yeah. I think, Ken, what you're saying is he wants Shuri to come around to his thinking. They have some sort of connection at this point.
Okay.
So
It was just a blank in my memory. I was like, I know he attacks. I don't see why he doesn't keep up the attack and just get rid of him right there because
plot.
Yeah.
That's-
Okay. But he gives her a chance to come up with a strategy, right?
Yeah. It's also worth noting too, like during all the stuff, all the chaos in the city of Wakanda, is that they, or I guess it would be the city. I don't know if we have a name for the city, but in the everyone comes together to try and help each other. Like everyone is, it is a good moment there to show that, you know, people are trying to help everyone out of the water. They're coming together. It's not like, oh, good luck drowning, a-hole. Like you voted for this dude. Like there's a different community feel to Wakanda than you might find in other places.
Agreed. And we also get, I think, is this also where M'Baku gives his speech about her anger and kind of like following a certain path or whatever? Or is that after she has the dream?
it's after they have the funeral.
Oh.
Is it?
They have the funeral. No, they have Queen Ramonda's funeral.
Oh, okay, yeah, Queen Ramonda's
So
funeral. You're right,
this is
correct.
immediately followed by Queen Ramonda's funeral, and then M'Baku basically comes up to Shuri and kind of has a heart-to-heart with her about
Hugs her with his eyes, just like, I want to hug you, as Jason said.
About being a leader, about what's next, about grief. And I think she comes up with the plan, I guess, or she figures out kind of, I guess, Namor's weakness somehow. I don't know.
Well,
if she
they're
noticed it
basically
first.
they're talking through it. Shuri basically goes back to the lab where she realizes that she needs to recreate the heart-shaped herb if they're going to have a chance. At the same time, she's discussing with Riri and Nakia and Okoye. And basically, okay, so how do we fight Namor? And they come up with they think that his source of power is the water. Like if they can basically dry him out. Yeah.
She said he attacked, he dipped in the water, then he came back and attacked and destroyed the ship. His strength must be in the water.
Yeah.
And she said that we have to find somewhere to dry him out.
Yeah. It's also,
that's where they came.
No, you're right. Go ahead. Mine's a separate thought.
That's as far as my memory goes. Like I remember part of that scene, but I'm like, I think that's what happened, but I can't remember what happened after that.
There's also a conversation during the attack, just as the waters are rising, is Nakia speaking to, I believe, Shuri or Okoye, and explain like, you know, why'd you leave? Like we had to bury T'Challa without you, and it's like, I couldn't be here for that. You guys lost, you lost a king. I lost my lover, and like she goes into kind of how her grief was different. Not to try and compare them. She just said that, you know, it was a different loss for her, which we find out why later. But there is a good statement there where it's like she couldn't be around for that because she couldn't emotionally handle it and other reasons. So that's something I just wanted to mention because there is a good moment there. And there's some like there are so many good, even just their small little moments. Like Queen Ramonda clearly is the one who I felt like took the entire movie away. She had the best lines and the best moments, but everyone gets good moments in this movie. I mean, who need them? Like Everett Ross doesn't need a good moment. He has a little thing, but he doesn't need it. Everyone else who's at the top, at the top of the call sheet, they get a moment to shine, and that's great.
They get a moment to grieve.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a moment kind of to grieve. I mean, it feels like you're grieving Chadwick Boseman throughout the entire film.
Oh yeah.
Kind of the point.
Yeah.